interview.
Good, good. And Gaurav, you were here earlier or first time?
No, sir. So this is my first time.
Right. So, what we are supposed to do, the pattern which I have made here in these one-on-one interactions is that first I will be sharing with you my own views and possible questions on your DAF. They may not be more than 5-6 each. And both of you obviously must have prepared very thoroughly as regards your DAF. And each and every word of your DAF must have been dissected by you by now. So maybe the points which I mentioned here, you might have already paid attention to them. Secondly, after that, after I am through with the analysis of your DAF on my part, I invite you to share your own anxieties, your own queries, your own doubts, or any other thought which comes to you. This is purely an informal session, informal conversation. This is not at all any kind of mock interview. Of course, it is not. But even during the conversation, you are absolutely at liberty to interrupt me at any point of time you wish to do so. So, Bilal, starting with you, because your name was familiar and I consulted my previous notes. I saw that we had met over the VC in the previous years also, but still I made my notes on your DAF again rather than referring to your. So some of them might be repetitive, and I will be going back to my last year's mock interview which we had. There might have been some point there as well. Resident of Thane, father and mother working in ironing shop, BSc 2019 Zoology, NCC certificate with lot of achievements which you have mentioned later, BSF at second preference. So as regards this much portion of your DAF, ironing shop as a profession, right, and expanding it to the broader perspective of self-employed workforce in our country, and the rough figure of 93% of our workforce being in the unorganized sector. What are the challenges? See, I'm not asking any questions here. It's just I'm underlining what comes to my mind. So what are the issues, challenges, problems faced by such self-employed workers or entrepreneurs who are providing services, not exactly producing some goods, indulging in some cottage industry or manufacturing, but providing services to people. I mean, your parents are riding shops, somebody may be catering, this thing, supplying tiffins to, because these are the basic requirements of human beings everywhere in the country. So, ऐसे लोगों की क्या broad तरीके से आपको क्या लगता है? Then what are the government schemes, incentives provided to various sectors which are self-employed like that? What kind of threats? Because again, that SWOT analysis, that opportunities are there, but threats are also there. Are people more attuned towards going to well-established dyers? These shops, even tailoring shops are doing it. इसको उधर ले जाओ भी मैं यहाँ 11:30 तक busy. So all these things, you must have done a lot already about it. That is one issue of staying with your grandkids, that they keep on disturbing you, bothering you all the time. So anyway, so ये हो गया. We must have talked a lot, and you must have prepared also about the kind of gap which has been there since your last academic pursuit, formal pursuit of 2019 BSc. Self-employment, I do seem to remember both these endeavors of advertisement, content creator, basic yoga trainer. In fact, all of them. See, you have later on not mentioned in one of your hobbies as yoga, as a yoga specialist. You have not mentioned any kind of achievement in yoga. but still you, for close to 2 years, 1.5 years, in fact more than 1.5 years, you worked as yoga trainer. So, to my mind, questions had it been many people, many candidates write yoga as a hobby or area of interest. They are more likely to get questions on the intricacies of yoga, just to test your integrity. Another thing that you have been working as a basic yoga trainer, so intricacies are fine because after all you have been training people, so you know that. But the issue again comes up that what kind of challenges you faced. Are these small training workshops of yoga, they are attracting as many people? आज तो पिछले 15 साल 20 साल से ये है with this YouTubes and cable TV channels and OTT, everybody is they will switch on the some kind of Baba Ramdev or whoever and try to learn yoga from them. So how do you justify physical yoga training's importance? And things may come up to the level of significance associated by population in general about physical fitness. Are Indians actually having more orientation towards keeping themselves physically fit? Right. So what about the needs? What can the government do to assist, help, and up some kind of assistance in these endeavors? Advertisement content creator, that has been your 6 years old experience. Again, technical questions can be there because there is a field in which everybody would like to buy kya hota hai zara hame batao. So if you have done that job, you will be in a position to tell that. ये जो तुम्हारा the 6 interviews at UPSC, am I right? 6 interviews?
6 interviews. I didn't get you, sir.
How many?
I didn't get your question, sir.
I said that I was just going through your DAF, which mentions about your previous brushes with UPSC. So there are actually around 10 exams and 6 interviews. 6 interviews is right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 6 interviews. It's of SSB also. So in total.
Yeah. No, but yeah, that's right. All four of them have been through your SSD. For the CDS, and 2 of them for CAPF. This is your third chance of CAPF. And you have, of course, written mains, civil services drawings, and IFS mains also once. At this stage, let me just, again, because we are having very, very informal conversation. What do you think? What has been the reason for your, you must have analyzed your marks also, written examination as well as interview marks. What has been happening in these so many interviews, at least CAPF 2 interviews? Let us talk about them.
So, regarding the CAPF interview, I performed a little fairly well. I was getting around 105.
Don't say fair. उनके तुम्हारे पास marks होंगे ना, तो marks क्या reflect करते हैं? You have done fairly well. That is from your side. Okay. What about your marks? Are you satisfied? जितना तुमने fairly well किया तो उतने marks मिले, कम मिले, ज़्यादा मिले, क्या हुआ?
अब जितना सर और मिलने चाहिए थे और मिल सकते हैं, मतलब मिल सकते हैं. मैंने और अगर और अच्छे से प्रिपेयर करूंगा तो और अच्छे मार्क्स मिलेंगे ऐसा.
तो तुमने क्या, just tell me 3 things which you did wrong in both interview और CAPF.
यही है कि अपना थोड़ा और अच्छे से डेफ एनालिसिस करता और क्रिस्प आंसर दिया होता. Then
डेफ की बात करता हूँ.
डेफ
that is one point. Okay, you should prepare डेफ both thoroughly. Second, third, 3 अगर बता सको तो.
सेकेंड थर्ड थोड़ा सा लास्ट टाइम पे थोड़ा सा निगलेक्ट हो गया था, थोड़ा सा, क्योंकि शायद मैं कोप अप नहीं कर पाया, क्योंकि मेरा जस्ट एक वीक बाद देना प्रीलिम्स का एग्जाम था, तो थोड़ा क्लैश ऑफ वो था, तो उसकी वजह से थोड़ा सा कम प्रिपेयर था. तो 2-3 क्वेश्चन जो ऐसे थे कि जो प्रिपेयर किए जा सकते थे अगर सिर्फ CAPF होता.
Okay, second issue is well taken that because of this proximity of prelims exam. Any other thing? Is there a third thing which you have learned from the previous 2 attempts?
No, sir, I don't think so, because क्योंकि इतना experience हो गया था.
One thing is taken care of, that this time prelims is at least 2-3 weeks away. And secondly, yes, DAF, I started with that. DAF, as I always say, and it is not because of my saying, everybody as interview board members, I also started from DAF because DAF gives you an, it is like a window into looking into the real person behind Bilal Khan.
Yes, sir.
तो ये तुम्हारे attempts का है. Of course, you have to justify. It's good that since 2019 we have been regularly appearing. एक ही बात मैं कह सकता हूँ कि take it as a strength. Appearing almost a dozen times in written examinations and having faced CAPF interviews twice. These are all your strengths. Don't allow your mind to think along this direction that ये तो चलता जा रहा है endless process. There is very rare chance that any member of the board will provoke this point. अरे आप तो इतने सालों से दे रहे हैं. No, that is just a big no. In fact, UPSC की पहली briefing में ही ये बात कही जाती है कि anyways, तो fill yourself with positivity on account of your repeated attempts. I will not call them repeated failures. Repeated attempts for success. Right?
Yes, sir.
That is one. We have a general talk के तौर पर. Arabic reading only. Why not spoken? Because when you talk about any language, spoken first comes first, then reading, then writing.
Yes, sir.
So option उसमें था. Spoken क्यों नहीं है?
क्योंकि सर जब मदरसे में पढ़ते तो मोस्टली कुरान जब हम लोग पढ़ते हैं तो जो कुरान अरेबिक में लिखा है तो मैं I can read Arabic language. But I cannot comprehend and can speak with the person. That's
okay. Quran, of course, the language will be totally different than, let us say, spoken Arabic, which is normally spoken by whether in the Gulf or whosoever. I mean, which लोग यहाँ पर बोल रहे हैं. But normal conversation Arabic में अगर तुम्हारे सामने एक सऊदी अरेबिया से कोई खड़ा हुआ करके, can you not do that?
Not do that. तो सर ऐसा है कि उसका मीनिंग नहीं पता है, लेकिन मेरे को रीड करने आता है. ऐसा है.
अच्छा, okay. Of course, religious texts, their meaning is much more subtle, much more nuanced as normal. You can't reading a newspaper in Arabic is absolutely different from reading Quran.
Yes, sir.
अब इसमें Arabic की बात आएगी, because again it's a it can catch the attention of the board. It is different. Maybe 1 out of 100 student might have written that. So language, the linguistics of Arabic, and believe me, nobody is a very rare possibility that anybody will be knowing Arabic at all in the board, but people will definitely ask questions.
Yes.
So obviously the questions will be commonsensical questions. So you have to be very much ready with this, that how to make a common person or layman understand the nuances of Arabic. For example, Arabic Persian से कैसे different है, Arabic कैसे उर्दू में क्या हुआ. Then moreover, ये तो technical questions हो गए, which actually test your integrity, but otherwise in the Indian context, right? Arabic, how it was brought into the subcontinent, what kind of status was given to that. Now, till 19th century actually, most of the office work, board work was done in Persian. The reason for that, obviously, that it was from the, so you be clear about that.
Yes.
Why Arabic has not been able to make a toehold as much as Persian, right? And those who came from Arab and कहाँ उनके जो है Persian has been very much more widespread in India as compared to Arabic. अच्छा, root words, what Max Weber and all, they had not Max Weber actually. What was the name of that person? Max Muller. Max Muller has done a lot of work, and several thinkers after him also that somebody has tried. They are like commonality of root words in Arabic, Sanskrit, and others. This father, Petri, Peter, and all that. So you have to be very clear about that, but only from a commonsensical perspective.
Yes, sir.
Yes, trick question. इसमें दो trick question कहाँ आता? Trick question की उम्मीद आप कर सकते हैं इस तरह की offbeat kind of achievement, offbeat kind of capability. Somebody may say that okay, you just recite one ayat from Quran.
अच्छा.
तो ये बड़ा एक possible का question है. You must be ready with that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then achievements तुम्हारे हमने पहले भी डिस्कस जरूर किए होंगे. Lots of things are there. Taekwondo you have, but that Taekwondo is way back in 2016. It's a very kind of such a thing, and you have represented district level. Why have you not continued with Taekwondo as a habit? You have switched over to gym, workout, swimming, and running. Why not Taekwondo? Right, and Taekwondo again, even though you have done it 10 years back, but brush up your knowledge, you must have brushed up already. Again, Taekwondo is much more obscure kind of sport as compared to your other hobbies of swimming and running. So you can expect more questions in Taekwondo.
Yes.
Swimming running का ये होता है जिम का कि See, the poor interview board has to handle 6 candidates in the forenoon, 6 candidates in the afternoon, and half of them would have written swimming and other half may have written running. So वो भी interview board वाले पूछ के थक जाते हैं, but they will lap up upon this जब इस लड़के ने क्योंकि taekwondo लिखा है तो but I'm just sharing with you the way minds of interview board works. ये जो तुम्हारे बाकी अचीवमेंट्स हैं अब इसमें you could have been more specific, but I understand that because of space constraints. स्वच्छ भारत यात्रा क्या है? स्वस्थ भारत यात्रा क्या है? You have not even indicated the year when you did it. कब किया आपने? क्या आपका रोल था? अचीवमेंट के कॉलम में तो वो लिखते हैं there is some kind of specific recognition which has been given to you. Yes, like you just mentioned, participated in Swasth Bharat Yatra. Who organized it? When it was organized? What was your specific role? Right? Assisted police in festival traffic management. Again, चलो festival तुमने mention नहीं किया, but people will ask you that what festival, and being a police officer and considering the fact that you are going you are aspiring for police organizations, you are aspiring for police organizations. तो इससे एक चीज अगर वहाँ पुलिस अफसर को बैठा होगा तो एक बड़ी सीधी बात आती है कि what kind of there can be 2-3 strands here. One is that the aspect of community policing. Be very clear. Read about that. Community policing. What does it mean? Because what you did was nothing but community policing, right? आपके नेटिव स्टेट में क्या है? महाराष्ट्र में, जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल लाइक फ्रॉम पंजाब, माई कार्डर इज पंजाब, माई कार्डर वॉज पंजाब. सो वहां पर they call it सांझ केंद्र in every police station. It's called Community Police Resource Center, CPRC. What it actually means, how it actually helps is that first of all, those guys and girls, they are in civil dresses. Secondly, that group of community police resource center is located outside the police station in a separate room. So a complainant who is afraid of, and there is no sentry as such. So the complainants who are not willing or afraid of entering the police station building, they can go there. And Kerala, for example, you have to be very clear that which states have been making, making achievements in this field of community policing. Then one can also ask this question that, okay, you assisted police in festival traffic management. Do you think that several of the police functions can be outsourced, and whether they have been done already? See, village defense committees, they are the invention of Britishers. We had been having village defense committees since last more than 125 years. Then similarly, what are ये अपना शहरों में मोहल्ला peace committees and all that. Traffic में what kind of, and traffic में भी different states have conducted different experiments, right? Counseling centers for marital disputes. There's a lot of involvement of NGOs and people. So where are the areas where police and some functions can be actually outsourced? So read about that. You assisted police in traffic management, that is fine. But पुलिस का एक बड़ा टिपिकल जॉब होता है, अगेन आई एम गोइंग टू डिटेल हैविंग बीन ए कैरियर पुलिस ऑफिसर, कि सिर्फ कोर्ट से जो सम्मन इशू होते हैं उनको सर्व करा, सर्विस ऑफ समन्स फॉर अपीयरेंस. नाउ दैट इज व्हाई कांट दैट बी डन बाय एनीबॉडी हु इज, फॉर एग्जांपल Gaurav's father is in postal department, why can't it be done through postal network? At any given point of time, so many dozens and dozens police officials, constables and constables, they are deployed every day on this, just serving the summons, and most of the time either the person who is summoned is not available at his house, so they will come back, बैरंग वापस आ जाएंगे या फिर कुछ और वहाँ पे अपनी कागजी कार्रवाई लगा जाएंगे. So how can it be more efficient as well as right? So gym, swimming, running I'm not talking about here, because as I said that they are very very popular and well known, common kind of, you can expect, but again be very thorough. आपने रनिंग कह दिया, रनिंग पे ही there will be 100 रनिंग से जॉगिंग, ब्रिस्क वॉकिंग, रनिंग का इम्पैक्ट बॉडी पर, रनिंग कितनी रनिंग लंबी मैराथन करते हो कि 1600 मीटर करते हो कि 100 मीटर करते हो, रनिंग यू हैव नॉट पार्ट डू. फिर हॉबीज के लिए अगेन व्हिच आई हैव बीन सेइंग ऑल अलोंग फॉर द पास्ट 1 वीक कि हॉबीज को या एरियाज ऑफ इंटरेस्ट को यूपीएससी अपने किसी भी डैफ में, whether that is CAPF examination or civil services, why do they keep it here? Why don't they ask that, okay, Mr. Bilal Khan, you write down the 3 things which you like to eat most? तुम्हें खाने में क्या पसंद है? क्यों हॉबीज की बात करते हैं वो, गौरव? Why do they want to know your hobbies?
Sir, they want to check if you're honest with your hobbies and if you.
That is one part. Yes, that is true. That is one part. That आपने लिख तो दिया, तो ये आपका झूठ सच पकड़ने का, आपकी इंटेग्रिटी चेक करने का जो ये है, that may be one kind of negative aspect, right? Positive aspect क्या है, बिलाल?
सर यही कि एक्चुअल में एक पर्टिकुलर पर्सन करता क्या है डे टू डे लाइफ में,
उससे यूपीएससी को क्या फायदा होगा? They want to get an assistant commandant. How will they? I said कि भाई करता क्या है, मैं भाई सवेरे में मुझे दाल पसंद है, सब्जी पसंद है, ये मैं आपसे पूछ सकता हूँ. अगर आप करते क्या है लाइफ में, जब आप कितने बजे सवेरे आप सोकर उठते हैं, I can, that is a better way of knowing about you, that what is your daily schedule. Why hobbies? Why areas of interest?
ये सर ये इंसान खुद से करता है. ये इंसान खुद से करता है, अपने वो उसका चॉइस पे करता
है. इंसान सो करके भी खुद ही से उठता है, खाना भी खुद ही खाता है. How does it differentiate from that? I'm asking that why UPSC is not concerned about your daily routine. Why hobbies? It's a simple answer actually. Both of you have made good attempts, but उस mindset से बाहर कि जो तुमने गौरव पहले बोला कि they just want to check whether you are telling a lie or whether you actually do it, because that is the basic conceptual framework from which most of the candidates at least they start. But that is only the negative testing a negative with a negative perspective, testing to the possibility of a negative trait in your personality. The positive trait is very simple. What UPSC wants for selecting any candidate, they want somebody to do a high pressure job as assistant commandants or for that matter an IAS officer, IPS officer, income tax officer. Now, आपसे वो एक 25 साल का या 30 साल का डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर एज एट एंट्री एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट आपसे कर रहे हैं, भाई तो वाह हमारी सर्विस. वो क्या चाहते हैं कि एक बैलेंस्ड आदमी मिले, एक ऐसा आदमी मिले हमें, एक ऐसा आदमी या औरत जो भी है, वो ये मेरे काम को करते हुए अपने आप को कैसे खुश रखेगा, अपने आप को रीएनर्जाइज कैसे. आप as assistant commandant of CRPF 12 घंटे 10 घंटे लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की ड्यूटी करके आए, then how are you going to regenerate your lost vigor? और वही नहीं होता जो आप there are especially in CAPFs there are cases of fratricides, गोलियां चल जाती हैं. This is one reason for that. वैसे रिमोट लोकेशन पे छुट्टी नहीं मिली और ये हुआ अल्कोहलिज्म. अगर आपको कोई हॉबी नहीं है, you will fall. पुलिस क्या हर सर्विस में ही कॉमन है. Why do people go? Because they don't, after 10 hours of work, they feel that okay, drinking is the only solution to. So that is why they want to test. They don't want to be a drunkard kind of assistant commandant. They don't want you to be fratricidal in nature. कि आप इतना, what exactly are you going to do something in your relaxation? 8 घंटे 9 घंटे आपने ड्यूटी किया, 6 घंटे आप सो लेंगे, 2 घंटे आप काम करेंगे, बाकी जो समय बचता है अपने परिवार को भी देंगे, लेकिन उसके बाद अपने आप को सारी चीजों से अगले दिन मॉर्निंग में अपनी जब ड्यूटी दोबारा लगी तो वी नीड ए थॉरोली फ्रेश गौरव, थॉरोली फ्रेश बिलाल. वो तभी पॉसिबल है जबकि आप ऑनेस्टली कोई ऐसी हॉबी को कर रहे हैं. दैट इज द होल रीजन एक्चुअली. सो ये मैं इसलिए इतना एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ, बड़ी कॉमन सेंसिकल बात ये है, तुम लोगों को पता होनी चाहिए थी, लेकिन इसको जानना क्यों जरूरी है, क्योंकि तभी आप जान पाएंगे यूपी. जब तक ये नहीं जानोगे यूपीएससी ने कम वक्त रखा क्यों इसको, हाउ कैन यू जस्टिफाई योर हॉबीज. तो अपनी हर हॉबी को आपको घुमा फिरा कर यही लाना है कि यस इट इज समथिंग व्हिच हैज attracted me, of course, that is why I selected this hobby out of 100 other possibilities. But किस तरीके से ये मुझको एक better, re-energized, regenerated, impactful, effective, whatever adjectives you want, human being बनाती, not only human being तो बनाती है, एक career officer जिसको यूपीएससी मुझसे बनाना चाहती है, वो मैं we are discussing it threadbare so that you get a conceptual clarity. हर चीज को इससे रिलेट करो, अपनी हर हॉबी को, हर एज ऑफ इंटरेस्ट को, कि मैं कैसे उस 8 घंटे 9 घंटे 10 घंटे को ज्यादा इफेक्टिवली कर सकता हूँ. Somebody writes that okay, there are no hobbies. There are very few candidates I have seen in TAFs which they write, हमारी हॉबी कुछ भी नहीं. No, that is actually a very negative point. Why? Because जो नौकरी देने वाला है क्या सोचेगा, अच्छा इसने जाकर के बात वही जो मैंने पहले कहा, जाकर इसने बात दारू पीनी है, जाकर कुछ और ऐसे गलत काम करने हैं, because he has to. There are always functions and dysfunction like that. That is basically is स्टिल इन योर माइंड, तुम्हारे दिमागों में भरने के लिए कि हॉबीज लिखवाने का पहली बात उद्देश्य क्या है यूपीएससी का, और जो उद्देश्य है उसको आपको जस्टिफाई करना। Swimming, running, yes, they're very good things. Workout, they can always re-energize. Even I take out 1.5 hours every morning for my own workouts and these things. क्योंकि मुझे आगे आने वाले दिन के लिए तैयार करते हैं। तुम्हारी जो हॉबीज की बात हो रही है इसका तो हो गया पूरा। मैं I'll come later to Bilal for questions because we have discussed so much about hobbies. So let me start your depth from the backward side. तुम्हारी hobbies as against Bilal or your hobbies are very typical and अगेन वही वाली बात है कि ये कॉफी पेंटिंग, चारकोल स्केचिंग, watching F1 racing. You have to justify that how it is going to make you a better CAPF official. Watching F1 racing, have you ever watched an F1 race in person?
No, sir, I am not watching person.
Then what do you mean? And you want to, you say that you watch it on TV only?
Yes, sir. Largely on television.
तो TV पर तो आपके हाथ में रिमोट है. There are so many channels you can select. And even that particular sports channel which is showing, are there channels dedicated to F1 racing only?
Sir, on this OTT platform, there is one platform that exclusively shows F1 fan code.
I'm not aware of that. So okay, so you pick up your remote and select only that.
Yes.
So what is there in F1? I don't expect any answer from you. You must have worked on that. But please, जो perspective मैंने भी दिया है, इसे सोचो. आप जब आधे घंटे या 45 मिनट जितना भी आप देखते हैं, आप जब F1 रेसिंग देख करके उस पर्टिकुलर OTT चैनल से उठे, so do you really feel, and how, if you feel, then you have to justify that how it has freshened your mind. भाई अगर देखो, अगर मुझे कोई कहे जबरदस्ती कि F1 रेसिंग बैठ करके आधे घंटे 1 घंटे देखो, मैं तो पहली बार देख नहीं पाऊंगा और उठूंगा तो मुझे बिल्कुल दिमाग जो है उतना गाड़ियों की रेस देख करके, और I mean personally I'm talking about myself. But how does it re-energize yourself? How does it make, ये तो वीडियो गेम खेलते हैं बच्चे, क्यों मना किया था वीडियो गेम खेलोगे माइंड काम करना बंद कर देगा, एंड तो F1 रेसिंग देखने से आपके माइंड को पॉजिटिविटी क्या मिलती है? कि आपने जाकर के, वही बात मैं फिर से रिपीट कर रहा हूँ बार बार, कि आपने 10 घंटे ड्यूटी करी, आप आए, आपने 2 घंटे सवेरे, 2 घंटे 1 घंटे शाम को देख लिया, तो हाउ कैन यू अटेंड योर ऑफिस एज ए बेटर, मोर इफेक्टिव असिस्टेंट कमांड? Think about that, and the ditto goes for your charcoal sketching, coffee painting, because they are again very typical kind of hobbies. You have to justify. See, जो दो ही तरह के क्वेश्चंस बनते हैं, एक तो जिसमें मैं डिस्कोर्स कर रहा हूँ because that is my style of asking, but there can be always those questions, especially for you, Gaurav, जो भी टेक्निकलिटीज पर बेस्ड है, वो अगेन इंटीग्रिटी टेस्टिंग में शुरू में। अब कॉफी पेंटिंग तुमने लिखी है, मैं मान के चल रहा हूँ तुम बनाते हो, there is no reason to disbelieve you. बट वहां पर सवाल आएंगे, बहुत ही रेयर चांस है किसी ने, इवन नॉट इवन पेंटर कैन बी देयर इन द 5 जेंटलमैन और वुमेन, बट आपसे वो पूछेगा, ट्रिक क्वेश्चंस पूछेगा, बिकॉज सच हॉबीज दे ऑलवेज अट्रैक्ट ट्रिक क्वेश्चंस। अब इलस्ट्रेशन एंड कार्टून के तुम कॉलेज में हेड थे, बी रेडी फॉर दैट। इज द फर्स्ट इंटरव्यू, इफ आई एम देयर आई विल डेफिनेटली आस्क कि ओके pick up pencil and paper and in the next 4 minutes 3 minutes you draw a cartoon of the chairman of the board or chairwoman of the chairperson of the board. Be ready for that. ठीक है ना? Secretary Civil Services, that again is very very typical. Secretary of Civil Services Aspirants Club. At least I have heard for the first time, because people generally are in the coaching system. They do some coaching for जब तक तैयारी कर रहे हैं, साथ साथ कोचिंग भी करते हैं लोग पढ़ाने के लिए. But ये इसका क्या? That's the achievement first of all. You have mentioned it with some purpose. How does it make an achievement? How does it make an achievement that you are secretary of this kind of club? What were the objectives of the club? What is the mission statement? Mission statement, to my mind, will be very simple: to get selected into civil services, because the name suggests that they are aspirants. But how the formation of a club? Is it only for the kind of group discussions and joint study or collective study? If it is that, then how justified it is to call it a club? This club, as the name suggests, is to take your mind away from whatever you are doing. It can be some kind of civil services coaching group or discussion group or whatever. Why do you call it a club? And of course, the broader perspective, कि civil services aspirant club बनाने की जरूरत क्या है? People are okay. Civil services examination or any examination for that matter is a door to which takes you to various possibilities and decides your career. But aspiration or aspiring for something that is totally individualistic, as well as that can never be, that should not be taken as a collective kind of endeavor. तो इसको justify करना होगा तुम्हें. खो-खो again is very very half the people right खो-खो, but achievement क्या था तुम्हारा? You have not mentioned. You just did not mention that where have you represented any team in खो-खो. लिखा है तुमने डेफ में अपने?
No sir. Sir
achievement है तुम्हें more specific. खो-खो what is exact? मैंने तो notes में लिखा है. What is the sentence in your DAF about खो-खो?
Sir, I used to play खो-खो for college level. Just
playing खो-खो for college team.
College. Yes.
College team is mentioned in there?
No sir, not college. At college level.
क्या लिखा क्या है बच्चे उसमें?
Sir, I have just written playing खो-खो.
Playing खो-खो becomes a hobby actually ना. तुमने achievement ही वालों में लिखा है इसमें. तो now you have to justify it. अगर नहीं भी लिखा तो बोल दो उसमें क्या आपने कॉलेज टीम में किया खो-खो में आपकी, because that will again lead to वही बातें कि खो-खो की टेक्निकलिटीज और खो-खो ऐसे आपको जो है ये एक what kind of even ethical values. ये भी मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ तुम लोग की दोनों की ही पढ़ाई जो है बहुत पहले की हो चुकी है. जो डिड गौरव योर बीटेक इन 2020 और तुम्हारी और पहले की है बिलाल. ये जो एजुकेशनल क्वालिफिकेशन आपकी है, आई ऑलवेज keep telling this to YGF candidates that is only a stepping stone. आप electrical engineer थे गौरव, it never would mean that BSF or CRPF would utilize your services for any kind of electrical work. They have got their electrical and mechanical like army has. उनकी अपनी wing होती है. There are qualified engineers only to do that job. And it is not like that also that if you become assistant commandant, deputy commandant, then you will be put in charge of electrical stores. Nobody will take your advice, and perhaps those officers who are manning them, they may be a graduate of history or physics or any other humanity subject. तो आपकी बचा क्या आपके पास? बचा दो चीजें एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए. एक तो वही फॉल बैक अपॉन इवन नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, किस तरीके से ग्रेजुएशन का एम उसमें पढ़ लेना, उसका प्रिंसिपल क्या बताया गया है. उसी क्या तो चलते ये हुआ है ना कि नाउ यू कैन डायरेक्टली एनरोल फॉर, अभी कुछ YTF कैंडिडेट्स ने कल चर्चा की, यू कैन ऑलवेज एनरोल योरसेल्फ फॉर, यू कैन इवन अपीयर इन नेट एंड GRF even though you have not done your PG in that subject, because you have done your UG. So that means that yes, you have got a certain, you have reached certain kind of threshold. तो वो threshold जो है आपको एक better human being बना रही है. ये आपकी एजुकेशन का योगदान आपकी थी. And second thing which I say that more narrower and more specific, आपने जो पढ़ाई की है इंडिविजुअल, जो आपका zoology है या आपका इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग है, so what kind of value systems your own stream has given is handed over to you. zoology पढ़ने से आपको क्या ethical values एक part है, but how does it help to become your, you have to think over it. इंजीनियरिंग वालों के लिए आसान होता है कहना कि भाई डिसीजन मेकिंग, हैंडलिंग कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सिचुएशंस. zoology में ऐसा क्या हो सकता है? Perhaps understanding the कोई आदमी मान लीजिए जो body structure से क्या we are not discussing, but you have read that, तुम्हारा काफी पुराना है, but फिर भी क्या उसमें आप सोच सकते हैं कि what value systems, what improvements in the value systems have taken place by pursuing a particular kind of education. Gaurav, now starting your DAF from the beginning, you come from उड़ान, राइट?
उड़ान ड्रैगन.
अब उड़ान अगर मान लो मैं तुम्हारा इंटरव्यू में होता तो बड़ा पर्सनल हो जाएगा मेरे लिए, because I started my almost 40 years back. Before joining police, I was an assistant engineer in ONGC. Okay, I started my career at उड़ान. अभी वो प्लांट है वहाँ पे उड़ान में?
Yes sir, उड़ान प्लांट है और CISF का यूनिट भी है वहाँ पे.
हाँ, तो उड़ान बॉम्बे आई वगैरह, उड़ान में I gave my joining report at उड़ान. Right. So वो अब तो शायद ब्रिज वगैरह बन गया होगा, but at that time there was like 45 minutes 1 hour bus drive from Santa Cruz, जहाँ पे हम लोग रहे थे वहाँ से 1 घंटा करीब लगता था. That is the only way to approach Uran, or
no sir, now because of Atal Setu now it is a shorter time.
Shorter time. Okay. Yes. Okay. वो जो नई सी लिंक बन गई उसकी वजह से?
Yes sir.
All right. All right. Okay. So anyway, if anybody who has heard about Uran and knows that his ONGC is there, so आपसे you can expect questions on that also. You must have prepared for that. Raigad, of course, is very historic. Chhatrapati Shivaji and his all of that. तुम्हारा एक दूसरा ये you are तुमने ये बताया वो संगम विहार दिल्ली. Why are you staying there?
Sir, this is.
You have given the address of some coaching center there.
No, sir. This is a RCA program by Jamia Hamdard. This is hostel program for civil services aspirant student.
Okay, so you are preparing there.
Yes, sir.
And staying there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, क्योंकि that while mentioning your present address, that is almost the third or fourth sentence of your draft, ना जहाँ पे शुभ लिखा होता है, तो वहाँ लिखा भी है तुमने कि कोचिंग सेंटर का एड्रेस दिया हुआ है. तो वो थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजन मुझे भी हुआ कि whether you are there as a student और एज ए मे बी 2020 से तुमने करी है, तो मुझे बताया कि बच्चे पढ़ते भी हैं, तैयारी भी करते हैं और वहाँ पढ़ाते भी हैं. तो एक्सपेक्ट क्वेश्चन ऑन दैट. व्हाट इज योर रोल इन दैट कोचिंग सेंटर? भी आपने लिखा हुआ है, पढ़ाते हो वहाँ पे, पढ़ते हो, तो जैसे तुमने बताया तुम पढ़ते हो वहाँ पर, तो फिर आ जाती है बात, अगर पढ़ाते होते फिर अलग बात थी, पढ़ते हो देन फिर वही ब्रॉडर का एस्पेक्ट की डज, बड़ा एक टिपिकल क्वेश्चन होता है कि डज यूपीएससी, cracking of UPSC need a kind of classroom coaching and then coaching in general, coaching for IIT entrance, JEE, coaching for medical, coaching industry as such. तो इसके pluses minuses क्या हैं? You be ready for that. You are going through that grinding. They won't ask कि तुम कितने साल से कर रहे हो, तुमने क्या है, वो nobody is interested. आप वहाँ हैं, बड़ी सी बात है, that is your absolute team. That thing कि तुम 2 साल से कर रहे हो, 3 साल से कर रहे हो. But क्या वो चीज desirable है? उसके क्या impacts आ रहे हैं? Do you think that UPSC or for that matter any medical college are they getting better engineers? Are we able to produce better engineers, better doctors because of the coaching system? Or there is something inherently which makes them worse engineers and worse doctors? फिर उनकी अपनी dynamics, फिर वो pressure situations की especially at the 12th standard की what kind of impact comes, वो वाली सारी बातें तो civil services में उतना नहीं है, but यहाँ भी हो जाता है कई बार कि you have done this intensive training and then you actually when you join Mussoorie or Hyderabad or CRPF Mount Abu Academy, then you find yourself unfit in the sense that जो आपने तो जितना वहाँ पर 8 घंटे 10 घंटे किया हुआ है, वहाँ पर अचानक से they are trying to generate what we call OLQ, officer like qualities. So is it, that's the first thing which you have to learn. So officer like qualities क्या आपको इस तरीके के grinding से मिल रही है या वो आपको कहीं दूर रह जा रहा है? And how, ये सारी बातें एक होलिस्टिक तरीके से सोचो. इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग का तुमने करने के बाद it has been like no job experience. Yes, why it is so? This question may be asked because the GPA at 8.24 was reasonably good. Yes. So why no job?
Sir, I gave 3 mains in civil services.
You have done नहीं. Yes, कहाँ लिखा है तुमने? You have, that is again I was wondering. You have mentioned about Indian Forest Service 6 times.
Sir, that time there was some issue with website. I contacted UPSC, but it was not reflecting my CSE attempt.
Okay, that has actually made it slightly lopsided because
yes,
when I went draft में तो लिखा है 6, तो I was going to ask that why you are so much after IFS only and not trying for other services.
Yes,
so you can always take आपको क्योंकि there are glitches. Yes,
yes,
के draft भरने बड़ी glitches बाकी को भी आई हैं. You can tell the actual number.
Yes,
that you have apart from the 6 attempts which I have taken for IFS, Indian Forest Service. That part is right.
Yes, sir.
एक बारी IFS का दिया है.
Yes.
Then apart from that, I have also appeared in so many times in. And what about तुमने 6 IFS का तुमने देखा? You have written mains or prelims?
Mains, sir. 3 mains I have written and 3 total 6 prelims.
Total 6. 3 times you have gone up to mains.
Yes, mains.
And civil services prelims. Civil services mains का नहीं कभी आया chance?
नहीं. Yes.
What about CAPF? So this also.
CAPF this is first time, sir.
First attempt, हाँ. Now, yeah, just like इसका जो अच्छा तुम्हारा बिलाल ये CAPF you have mentioned 5 attempts later on in your draft, whereas your chart shows only 2 attempts. Why this discrepancy? Your mic, please.
So in that I have only mentioned the one which I have given in the interview. क्योंकि वो पूरा लिस्ट बहुत लंबा हो गया था, तो at that time I mentioned only 2.
तो 2 बारी जो इंटरव्यू में गए थे वो मेंशन किया है.
वो मेंशन किया है और नीचे फिर बोली.
गुड, चलो ठीक है, नो इशू. कमिंग बैक टू यू गौरव, ये जो बात हम कर रहे थे, हाँ ये अपना CAPF, व्हाई इट इज फर्स्ट। अब ये एक आती बात कि भाई आप IFS 6 बार दे चुके हैं, आप प्रीलिम्स 3 बार दे चुके हैं, तो व्हाई आर यू थिंकिंग दैट CAPF इज लाइक योर प्लान बी, or you are not very much, how at this stage of your career, at this stage of your life, how have you become oriented towards CAPF? आपने पहले एक बात आती है भाई आप पहले देते, राइट, तो are you taking it just as a like leftover की भाई ठीक है वहाँ नहीं तो यहाँ से justify that, because CAPF is perhaps as compared to even Indian Forest Service that requires equal if not more commitment. बाकी तुम्हारा DAF I have already discussed. So नो जॉब एक्सपीरियंस को वही करो कि इलेक्शन, वो वाले पुराने क्वेश्चन कोई नहीं पूछता कि इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग आपने करी तो यू आर मेकिंग द कंट्री लूज वन इंजीनियर एंड ऑल दैट, नोबडी आस्क्ड दैट. गो बैक टू दैट कि इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग हैज मेड मी अ बेटर ह्यूमन बीइंग, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ वैल्यू सिस्टम्स आई हैव अडॉप्टेड फ्रॉम दैट, वो सारी बातें करो. और अटेम्प्ट्स तुमने बहुत सारे दिए हैं तो दैट एक्चुअली जस्टिफाई भाई इसके बिलाल खान बात.
सर कैन यू प्लीज रिपीट द पॉइंट, आई मिस्ड दिस पॉइंट.
I said two things. One was that electrical engineering तुमने जो की है उसके बाद अपने नौकरी न करने को जस्टिफाई करो, right? Think over it. Write down 2-3 points which are very succinct and honest. Secondly, ये है जो कि बिलाल दोनों पर applicable है कि both of you have attempted so many times these examinations. So उसमें that has to be taken as your commitment. Your endeavor to succeed. Despite repeated failures. As I always say, my pet sentence that the board is sitting there after having cleared the mains, the board is sitting there to select you. Their job is not to reject you. So put your best foot forward, right? जो भी तुमने चाहे वो आपके DAF में जो भी लिखा है, every point of your DAF has to be taken as some kind of an achievement. Achievement के कॉलम के अलावा भी आप अगर 6 बार 7 बार एग्जाम दे रहे हैं, that itself is your achievement. Take it as an achievement कि मैं इतना consistently, इतने meticulously हर बार कर रहा हूँ, that's an achievement for me. That actually shows my motivation. I'm such a highly motivated person that I'm not willing, not ready to say that yes I am defeated. Never say die approach जो होता है. तो हर चीज को अपना, your father is in postal service, जो मैं रह गया बीच में, postal का जो again related with the job, actual this thing that what kind of challenges and problems, but postal department, your father is a postal assistant, तो ये अभी क्या है, he is in service first of all.
Yes sir, he is in service, he is a clerk in post office.
I got that, but पोस्ट पे कोई नहीं जा सकता कि आपके फादर एक्चुअली वहाँ क्या कर रहे हैं, आपने लिख दिया DAF उनका क्या इनकम है all that. पोस्टल डिपार्टमेंट में इन जनरल, बट आउट ऑफ क्यूरियोसिटी इसमें काफी पिछले रिसेंट पास्ट में काफी चेंजेस आए हैं ना. What all has been stopped in postal department? Are you keeping track of that? ये जो लेटर डिलीवरी टेलीग्राम तो बहुत पहले बंद हो गया था.
Yes.
What else? ये जरा देखना इसको, मतलब मैं it struck me because again having father or any other parent or mother in postal department is little bit offbeat. तो postal department में क्या changes हुए हैं अभी पीछे?
Sir, they are now diversifying into insurance sector. They are also diversifying into postal payment banks. Sir, third one is they are also delivering.
100 साल पुराना काम जो था चिट्ठियां डिलीवर करना, उस पे क्या इम्पैक्ट हुआ? Has it been, have some services been stopped in that?
So services.
Let me ask a simple question. Are you still getting? I go to a post office. I am getting those 3 postcards in inland and envelopes. They are available.
Yes, sir. Sir, they are available. For example, for particular use like sending Rakhi during Raksha Bandhan, they are being used for typical applications, but they are being used.
Okay. तो थोड़ा सा इसमें because you are an engineer also, थोड़ा सा इसमें ये आ सकता है कि एंगल के पोस्टल डिपार्टमेंट अपने फादर थे, you have seen, you have lived his experiences. तो अभी जो पिछले 20 साल में स्टार्टिंग विद योर याहू मैसेंजर से लेकर के और ईमेल और आज ये instantaneous message service and all that what's, so what kind of sociological impact it has made upon different kinds of ITs? What इसमें बाहर का भी देखना, वेस्ट में क्या हुआ है, हमारे यहाँ क्या हुआ है. Of course the fact remains very much that it has made the communications not only instantaneous but so many positive ones are there. But हमारे जो ओवरऑल सोशल माइंडसेट है, सोशल माइंडसेट मतलब एक होता है इंडिविजुअल का अपना माइंडसेट, सोशल माइंडसेट माने कि पूरी सोशियोलॉजी का जो वे ऑफ थिंकिंग, पूरे सोसाइटी का जो वे ऑफ थिंकिंग, उस पर क्या इम्पैक्ट हुए हैं, पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव, विदाउट बीइंग सेंटिमेंटल और विदाउट बीइंग काइंड ऑफ नॉस्टैल्जिक कि हाँ जी वो तो जमाने में पोस्ट ऑफ ये था, और बट क्या ऐसा हुआ है जो कि पॉजिटिव चीजें उसमें थी from the psychosocial perspective, which are not there. This can be one area because the father is at the cutting edge level of social department. So that is almost all in your DAP also, Gaurav. So in the remaining in 11:20 remaining 10 minutes, 5 minutes to Bilal and 5 minutes yourself, any kinds of queries or whatever you want to share.
So first thing, I'm in the second year of law, so I didn't mention there.
Second year of what?
Law. I'm doing LLB.
Oh, acha.
So on next year I will be going in the third year. So should I tell the board that, and I have written just a hint that I have scored a 99.6%.
Tell me honestly, you forgot to write it, or there was a space constraint? Because there is a call. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So they says that either you have to be you have completed your graduation, something. Your degree is not completed. So I cannot write in any column that yes, I am pursuing law.
I don't know. I personally have doubts about what you are saying. That even ongoing degrees, somebody is pursuing his PhD, somebody is pursuing his post-graduation. So there has to be some way of communicating it to your dad about your ongoing studies.
Okay.
Because this is my, I think, पिछले 10 दिन से मैं कर रहा हूँ. One of the YTF candidates, he had mentioned that yes, I'm doing that from IGNOU. Some course he was doing, some kind of diploma he was doing from IGNOU 3-4 days back. I'm forgetting the name. So there would have been a method of writing it, but चलो छोड़ दिया. तो उसको तुम कैसे, you want to drop it like that? मैंने ये भी किया हुआ है, because that doesn't give a very nice impression.
सर नहीं, यही दिक्कत है कि अगर मैं उनको बोलूँगा कि मैं लॉ, तो मेरे को एक
सुनो. पहली बात तो ये है कि you can't just sit there and announce that, sir, I have forgotten about writing it and I am also a law student. That doesn't give a good impression, because then you will have to go back to explaining that कि साहब ये हो नहीं पाया, या somebody like me would be there who will say नहीं, मैंने candidates देखे हैं, वो तो ongoing studies पे भी लिख देते हैं, तो वो controversial हो जाएगा. इसको तुम अपनी तरफ से ऐसे mention मत करना.
Yes, sir.
When you can in a very nuanced way, in a subtle way, you can introduce it, supposing the discussions go towards legal matters, judicial matters, some Supreme Court judgment, some other matter which has been recently in news and current affairs relating to legal developments in the country. Let us say कहीं पर अगर बात आती है इसकी के साथ ये judicial activism अच्छी है खराब है, PI, तो then you can, या collegium system की बात आती है, then you can very उसको sentence लिख करके याद कर लें. सर ये I am saying because I am also pursuing my law at present. I am in second year. Very rare chances that people will go back to your DAP. अच्छा आपने पहले लिखा तो है नहीं, ये नहीं कोई पूछेगा. आपने बता दिया, fine. If somebody asks, even they will be more interested in hearing your views on law rather than going back and discovering कि तुमने लिखा क्यों नहीं. लेकिन अगर अपनी तरफ से बताओगे तो एक क्वेश्चन पहले आएगा भाई तुमने लिखा क्यों नहीं.
Yes, sir.
You get the difference between the two situations.
Yes. Yeah. तो वही, क्योंकि सर अगर जैसे बोलते हैं introduce yourself, तो introduce में कभी-कभी हो जाता है currently I am pursuing law from तो उसमें
देखो again it's सारे 6 कैंडिडेट लंच से पहले 6 कैंडिडेट लंच के बाद सारों का सेम नहीं होता. ये क्वेश्चन की इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ चलो किसी ने पूछ लिया, बट अदरवाइज इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ तो आपका डेफ में ऑलरेडी सारा है ही. वी गेट 5 मिनट्स ब्रेक, उसमें आपका डेफ पढ़ना होता है हम लोगों को उसके बिफोर द कैंडिडेट वॉक्स इन. तो अगर कोई पूछ ही लेता है देन आप बताएं कि आप इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ थोड़ा लंबा हो गया, हाँ भाई मैं यहाँ से रहने वाला हूँ और ये है, यू विल बी प्रैक्टिकली रिपीटिंग व्हाटएवर यू रिटन इन द डेफ. अगर ये 10% चांस अगर ऐसे बात शुरू होती है, then you can finish it by saying that yes, I am pursuing my laws. और जो मैंने कहा, I think about it, कि अगर आपका बीच में कहीं पर कोई legal judicial aspect आता है, then you can, while explaining that, you can say that. What else?
सर एक ही है कि पिछली बार अभी जब कल मॉक हुआ था ना इंटरव्यू का, मैं आपको बताया एक मॉक देखा, तो उन्होंने मुझे ऐसा बोले कि जैसे आप बता देते हो बोर्ड को कि आप लॉ कर रहे हो, तो चांसेस है कि आपको लॉ के ऊपर क्वेश्चन आ जाए.
सही बात बिल्कुल सही बात है, I fully agree with that.
इतना होल्ड है नहीं सर लॉ पे, मैं कर रहा हूँ लॉ लेकिन इतनी होल्ड है नहीं.
Absolutely. और उसके बाद आप apologetic तरीके से कहें साहब मैं तो अभी सेकंड ईयर में ही हूँ, मैंने पूरा पढ़ा नहीं, that is neither here nor there. So don't take up the topic. वो जो तुमने कहा कि introduce yourself, मैंने पहले कह दिया कि 10% भी चांस उसका नहीं है because your introduction is already in the DAP. Why should the board waste the precious time within the 20 minutes कि तुमसे ये पूछ करके जो already लिखा हुआ, ठीक है ना? तो इसलिए अगर वो एक है कि अगर लॉ पे डिस्कशन आता है then you can always say what else. अपनी तरफ से बताओगे वही होता है ना कि if you tell then they will realize, they will feel at least कि ये इसलिए शोकेस कर रहा है कि उसको बड़ा लॉ के बारे में आता है, राइट? ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए.
यस सर. और तो सर एक वही था अपना जो गैप ईयर का था, आपने जब पिछला एक सेशन जब लिए थे ना आपने, तो एक काफी डिटेल में बताए थे, मैं इसको फिर से गो थ्रू करूंगा. और मैं ऐसा चाहता था कि एक बार मैं फिर से आपसे एक बार कनेक्ट करूं गैप ईयर को, अगर अच्छे से क्योंकि आपने बहुत अच्छा जस्टिफिकेशन दिया था.
अच्छा ठीक है, गो थ्रू दैट. मैंने भी तुम्हारा नोट किया होगा, पीछे मुझे ढूंढना पड़ेगा सारे कैंडिडेट्स का था, बट यू कम अप विद, यू आर मोस्ट वेलकम टू कांटेक्ट मी डायरेक्टली व्हेनेवर यू विश.
थैंक यू सर.
ऑलराइट,
दैट्स इट फ्रॉम
गौरव योरसेल्फ.
Sir, in the final year, we had a project in electrical engineering, and I was asked in mock interview, why didn't you pursue that project after completing engineering, or why did you pursue electrical engineering when world is becoming more this engineering oriented? So how do I tackle such questions?
No, you have done the project as the part of your curriculum.
Yes, sir, as a part of curriculum.
तो वो तुम्हारे डैश में तो लिखा नहीं है, मेंशन किया है क्या?
सर नहीं, डैश में नहीं है, बट यूजुअली इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस के फाइनल ईयर में प्रोजेक्ट होता है.
तो you are apprehending that they will ask you about that project, and yes, you may not be in a position to reply to that question.
Yes, sir. Or they may ask, why didn't you pursue that project after completing engineering, if it was a good project, or why didn't you pursue electrical engineering itself?
What? Say again. What was your project linked with? Which engineering?
Electrical engineering.
अच्छा.
सर सो वो पूछते कि फिर इलेक्ट्रिकली परस्यू क्यों नहीं किया, क्योंकि इतना अच्छा तुम्हारा सीजीपीए है.
क्या तुम्हारा प्रोजेक्ट था, क्या किस चीज पर था?
सर वो पीएमएसएम मोटर के बारे में था, जो मोटर ईवीज में यूज होते हैं.
इसका तो सिंपल आंसर वही है ना कि सी यू हैव टू जस्टिफाई द कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन टेकन बाय यू, as you rightly said, and the board will also be aware of that when I did that in my final year, प्रोजेक्ट करना is part of the BTech requirements. आपको फाइनल ईयर में करना होता है. एंड ऑब्वियसली अगर आप इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हैं तो प्रोजेक्ट आपको इलेक्ट्रिकल का ही करना पड़ेगा, राइट? यू कांट डू प्रोजेक्ट ऑफ मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग और सम प्रोजेक्ट ऑफ हिस्ट्री और ज्योग्राफी. सो दैट वाज पार्ट ऑफ योर करिकुलम रिक्वायरमेंट्स व्हिच यू डिड. बट इफ यू आर मोर attuned towards civil services or more attuned towards any other kind of competitive examinations, तो ऑब्वियसली आपने अपना बीटेक पीछे छोड़ दिया तो प्रोजेक्ट पीछे छूट गया. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने, अगर मेरी दिलचस्पी उसमें इसलिए थी बिकॉज दैट वाज a requirement for my degree. But इसमें question, unless you have mentioned it in your DAF, nobody will ask this question. Because half of the candidates are from engineering background. All of them would have done some project. So nobody will ask कि आपने project किया, आगे आपने pursue क्यों नहीं किया? Right? अगर तुमने उसको लिखा होता कहीं पर कि हाँ जी ये मेरा बड़ा achievement project था, then they would have asked. So don't be afraid of this question. This will not be asked.
Sir, one more question.
Yeah.
Sir, like many candidates, I have my first service preferences CISF and SSB.
Your अच्छा preferences का रह गया. हाँ, your preferences are as usual, yes.
Yes, sir.
Bilal, are you online?
Yes sir, I'm there.
ये बीच में preference का रह गया था. Your second preference is BSF.
Yes sir.
You may be asked this, that why BSF? Because the other, if you go for, I mean, I don't know whatever reasons you will offer, but SSB and ITBP, which are relatively supposed to be less onerous, they are down below. So BSF को तुमने CISF के बाद, CISF first है ना तुम्हारी?
Yes sir.
उसके बाद BSF को देने का, CISF first means कि आपका वो सारे standard reasons किया था. तो normal choice is like SSB because that gives an opportunity to interact with people. BSF को इतना ऊपर उठाने के लिए तुम्हारे पास जो भी दो तीन रीजंस हैं, you can very will be justified. Yes. Yours is of course Gaurav, the standard. I have just written preference as usual because it is the CISF, SSB, ITBP, CRPF, BSF, that is the more than half the candidates like that. So justification तो वही है CISF का. If you attended my previous sessions, the 3-4 sessions which I took, CISF की बात वही आती है, अगर याद हो कि since ancient times, you want to know that from me or you had something else in mind? CISF की justification की बात कर रहे हो?
जी सर, CISF की justification मतलब जनरल तो वही है कि ज्यादा सिटी पोस्टिंग्स रहती है, ऑल ओवर इंडिया रहती है।
तुमने शायद, मेरा लगता है कि पहले YTF के मेरे, तुमने कब से यहाँ, तुमने have you joined this time from the very beginning or?
No sir, I joined just maybe 1 month back.
So maybe Bilal would remember. Bilal, can you tell me how to justify your CISF?
I'm not able. जी सर, थोड़ा क्लियर नहीं है।
अब तुम लोग के मैं इसीलिए 3-4 मैंने सेशंस लिए थे, 1 hour लॉन्ग सेशन, उसमें यही था इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी पर भी। इस पर भी देखो ऐसा है कि इट्स माय, एंड यस, इन फैक्ट इन एवरी one-on-one I keep on telling this. You think of the ancient times, जब किंग्स होते थे, सुल्तान होते थे, रूलर्स होते थे, और इवन बिफोर दैट when there was a village society, right, there was a kind of headman in the village. What did they do? The only objective was to expand their area, to enhance their treasury not only with gold and silver and precious metals but also with eatables, जो सबसे पहले आज से 10,000 साल पहले था, कोई ठीक है, हाँ, सिंधु घाटी की सभ्यता पे जाओ, हाँ, that storage of greenery, right, huge greenery. तो सबसे पहले जो ह्यूमैनिटी की जो रही है चीज, वो ये है, यस, कैप्चर मोर एरियाज, कैप्चर मोर पीपल एंड बिल्ड योर treasury containing from food grains up to precious metals, whatever. Now the next issue which comes up, that somebody has to guard that treasury. So my take is that guarding the precious material has been one of the earliest tasks performed by the what we now call police. चाहे आप ग्रीक पुलिसिया, जहाँ से पुलिस शुरू हुई है, पुलिसिया वर्ड को देखो लैटिन में, तो वहां से लेकर के आज तक ये सबसे वन ऑफ द मोस्ट एंशिएंट रिस्पांसिबिलिटी ऑफ एनी पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट, एनी पुलिस फोर्स। ये एक बार जब ट्रेजरी आपने सिक्योर कर ली, उसके बाद बात आती है प्रिफरेज हो रही है, चोरी हो रही है, इवन द डिटेक्शन इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑफ क्राइम व्हिच इज हैपेंस टू माय एरिया, वो भी बाद में आता है। फिर उस पटवारी को लेकर के दंगा फसाद हो गया, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर उसके बाद आता है। तो इफ यू मेक ए लिस्ट ऑफ द बेसिक टास्क्स परफॉर्म बाय पुलिस, सो चौकीदारी, द वर्ड इज कम्स टू माइंड, चौकीदारी इज द guarding and providing security to wealth. That is the first. उसमें से पिलफरेज हुई तो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर, या फिर उसका डिटेक्ट करना कि भाई से पहला चोरी का पता लगाओ, ये ऑल CISF टेक, इतना मैं विस्तार बोल रहा हूँ, यू हैव टू राइट योर ओन वेरी क्रिस्प सेंटेंसेस। अब तो कैसे 2 सेंटेंस में कैसे कहे? CISF की जब बात करते हैं तो यही आता है कि यू आर गार्डिंग दी वेल्थ ऑफ द कंट्री, और खास तौर से अब के पिछले 20-25 साल के हालात में, पहले तो खाली इंडस्ट्रियल सिक्योरिटी थी बिकॉज इंडस्ट्रीज आर इम्पोर्टेंट, हाँ, बट अब ये एयरपोर्ट, पोर्ट्स, मेट्रो स्टेशन, अदर प्लेसेस। सो ये पहला आता है कि भाई वी एज ए पुलिस ऑफिसर यू डायरेक्टली गार्ड द वेल्थ ऑफ द कंट्री, विच इज अगेन जस्टिफाई को सबसे पहला हमारा काम है। दूसरा इसमें ये आता है कि अगेन व्हाट यू से, डोंट से सिटी बेस्ड पोस्टिंग, ऑल दैट, द काइंड ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी व्हिच दिस जॉब गिव्स यू टू ब्रॉडन योर ओन आउटलुक, इज ब्रॉडन आउटलुक इज द थर्ड पॉइंट। सेकंड पॉइंट बढ़िए ले आओ, दैट गिव्स एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू इंटरैक्ट, socialize and come across many different segments of society. आप बॉर्डर गार्डिंग कर रहे हैं, बॉर्डर गार्डिंग में फर्क है, तभी एसएसपी जब पहले रखते हैं आप तो जस्टिफाई दैट एसएसपी गार्डिंग ओपन बॉर्डर्स, उनका इंटरेक्शन इंडियन सिटीजन से, नेपालीज सिटीजन से कितना ज्यादा होता है, जो कि बीएसएफ वाले का नहीं। बीएसएफ वाला मान लो कि राजस्थान में तो मिलो मिल कोई आदमी दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है, पंजाब में है तो ड्रोन्स की समस्या में हार्डली एनी अपॉर्चुनिटी टू इंटरेक्ट विद कॉमन। एसएसपी में काफी हद तक है, सीआईएसएफ में बहुत ज्यादा है। कैसे बहुत ज्यादा है? जो ट्रेडिशनल इंडस्ट्रियल सिक्योरिटी थी उसमें यू आर इंटरेक्टिंग विद फैक्ट्री मैनेजमेंट एट द टॉप लेवल ऑफ मैनेजर्स, देन सप्लायर्स, then those who are taking scrap dealers. हर एक से आपने इंटरेक्ट करना है, हर एक को आपने समझना है. किसी भी जॉब में जैसे हम बात करते हैं सिविल सर्विसेज फॉर एग्जांपल, तो होता है कि यू हैव टू डील विद पब्लिक. तो यहाँ पर जो पब्लिक डीलिंग वो CISF में कहीं ज्यादा है बाकियों से. इससे तीसरा पॉइंट राइज करता है कि दैट एक्चुअली मेक्स broadens my outlook and makes me a more capable officer. Don't say capable, it makes me a more capable civil servant, a more capable CAPF officer. तो ये 3-4 बातें मिलाकर ही करो. और लास्ट में यही कहना है कि वो सर, डिस्पाइट एवरीथिंग, whatever at the end, whatever service is allotted to me, I'll be very happily to do that. What else, Gaurav?
No sir, no particular.
Right. So it is 11:35. We had a good interaction. Yours is 10th May, yours is 20th May, right?
Sir, mine is on 14th. 14th.
Yes, sir.
And mine is on 13.
Okay.
13th.
तो चलो ठीक, अच्छा है. Then you keep on preparing yourself, positivize yourself as much as possible, and don't feel anxious. Don't feel even a small little bit downwards. No feeling बिल्कुल नहीं होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि all the candidates, there are hardly any candidates which is not passing through such pangs कि क्या होगा कैसे. जब तक आप खुद अपने आप को अंदर से पॉजिटिव नहीं रखेंगे, you cannot bring out your positive. You cannot bring out and you cannot convey your positivity to the board as such. And the board is sitting there to judge your positivity only. That's their only job for this. That's why it's called personality test. Okay. Wish you all the very best, both of you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great interview. Right. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.